We are going to do geometric sequences in series. Today we're going to write, recognize, find, and tomorrow we're going to do sums. So, same thing we did with arithmetic, we are now going to do a geometric. So a geometric sequence, you don't have to write all this down. The thing you need to know is it has a common ratio. Geometric sequences again is a list of numbers, and it has a common ratio. We find it by taking, if you notice, we have a sub 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to n. If I want the ratio, I take the second term divided by the first, the third divided by the second, the fourth divided by the third, and so on. And those all need to be the what?
They do have a common ratio?
Yes. They would all have to be the same to have a common ratio, right? So, ratio means I multiply by something, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, we don't need to say divide because we can, instead of dividing by 2, we can multiply by 1/2. And we did a lot of that with Gauss-Jordan elimination. So hopefully your brain is more in that. You know, that makes fractions a lot easier to deal with. If we don't think of them as division, we just think of them multiplication. So our brain likes certain things better than others. So again, we have geometric sequences have common what? Ratios. And I found it by taking the second divided by the first, the third divided by the second, and so on. Yes? And they all need to be the same. Am I good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so determine whether the sequence is geometric. If so, find the ratio. So again, we're going to take, we have 7, 21, 63, 189. So we have to just divide by the previous term. And division is just reducing, right? Mm-hmm. Well, 7 goes into 21 how many times? 3. 3 times 21 is 63, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you know one of them, they all have to be the same, so you could just do the multiplication, right?
63 times
63 times 3 is also
189.
189, so it's 3, so it is geometric, right?
Mm-hmm. Ratio would be 3.
And R equals 3. So 25, 20, 15, 10. Divided by 25, divided by 20, divided by 15. Well, if I reduce the first one, I get what, 4/5?
Mm-hmm.
And if I reduce the second one, I get 3/4. Is this geometric?
No.
No, it is definitely not geometric, but
It would be
what?
arithmetic.
Arithmetic. So it's not geometric, but it is arithmetic, and the difference would be what?
-5.
-5, and we could go from there, right? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if I give you a sequence and I tell you, tell me whether it's geometric or arithmetic, which one are you going to check first?
Arithmetic.
Arithmetic. You're not going to check geometric, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have 5, 1, 0.2, 0.02. So it'd be, we're looking for 1/5, yes? Okay. So then we divide by 1, divide by 0.2. Well, 0.2 is 2 over 10, which is what?
1/5.
1/5. And then we'd move the 2, move it 1. So 4 divided by 2 would be 0.2, which we already know is what? 1/5. So is it geometric? Yes?
How'd you do that? For the 0.04?
I took,
I think you took it divided by point.
I moved my decimal.
Okay.
Okay, so my decimal's right here.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I have 0.2, which is the same as the previous term.
Oh.
So it is geometric, and R is 1/5. Okay, the next one I know is not arithmetic. Why?
Because there's
Positive, negative, isn't it?
Okay.
Can that happen when I'm adding or subtracting something? No, I can switch one time, but I can't go back and forth, can I?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know it's not that. So we got 6 divided by 9, 4 divided by negative 6, and then we got negative 8/3 divided by 4, which that is multiplied by 1/4. Okay, so negative 6 over 9 reduces to
2/3, negative 2/3.
negative 2/3,
And look at that, negative 2/3.
and negative
And
2/3,
guess what? Negative 2/3.
and negative 2/3. So is it geometric?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's geometric, and R is
Negative 2/3.
negative 2/3. So anytime you see the positive, negative, you know it has to be, if anything, it has to be geometric, yes? And my ratio is going to be negative because that's what switches it back and forth. Okay, now we just got a bunch of fractions. So we're going to be 2/7 times 5/1, yes? Because I'm multiplying by the reciprocal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it'd be 3/9 times 7/2, and 4/11 times 9/3. I love how it marks where my hand touches. So I get 10/7. Oh, well, this can reduce, right? So I get 7/6. Do I even have to keep going? No. I could see if it's arithmetic, but I don't even want to. What would I have to do? Common denominator, right? So, not geometric. Questions, guys? Similar to what we did with arithmetic, right? But just with the multiplication. Am I ready? Good? Okay, so here is my definition, my rule, my equation. Do you need to know this?
Yeah.
Yes. We have a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the power of n minus 1. I didn't write down what a sub n was again. I didn't write down what r was again. I didn't write down what anything was again because it's still, well, everything but r is exactly the same as arithmetic, right? A sub n is the actual number, the answer you get, right? A sub 1 is the first term. R is the common what?
Common
Ratio. N is the number of term I want. And then minus 1 comes from that going back one. So it says, write the first 5 terms of the geometric sequence for which a sub 1 equals 3 and whose common ratio is 4. So in this problem, even though I don't ask, do I still want this equation?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so a sub n
Equals 3. 4.
3 times 2
End of it.
to the n
-1.
minus 1. Now, we don't typically leave equations like that. It looks kind of funny, doesn't it? Okay, so we did this last year and we're going to work on it again. If you leave your definition at this point, you miss a half a point and you walk away. But should you always start to improve, try to improve and finish it? Yes. Okay, so this is 3 times 2 to the n times 2 to the negative 1, correct?
Yeah.
Because with exponents, that's how it works. Okay, where do I put a negative exponent?
In the denominator.
In the denominator or numerator if it was in the denominator, correct? So it would be a sub n equals 2/3, not 2/3. How about 3/2? N, I can't even talk. I'm writing it right. 2 to the n. And where did I get the 2/3 from?
1/2 times.
1/2 times 3, or just moving this to the denominator. Now, does this look much better when we're looking at it in terms of an equation? Yes, other than the fraction.
Can
You
you break
moved
it
the
down a
negative
little bit
1
more?
down. You brought the negative 1 down.
No, I moved 2 to the negative 1 is 1/2.
Okay.
and 1/2 times 3 is 3/2.
Okay.
Oh, so you just leave out, you don't worry about the 2 to the end.
Well, I can't because exponents, I have to do the exponent, and exponents come before division or multiplication, yes? So at this point, the equation stops because I can't do anything else with it.
But I mean, when you got to the
When we
3
plug,
halves times 2 to the end,
uh-huh.
you just didn't worry about the 2 to the end, you just did it.
Yeah, I just did it with the coefficient.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to plug in numbers, yes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So a sub 1 equals 2/3 times 2 to the first. Well, what happens to my 2's?
You reduce
They reduce and I get 3. Is that what I was supposed to get?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, a sub 2 equals 3/2. 2 to the second. Well, does one of my 2's reduce?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 times 2 is 6. A sub 3 is 3/2. 2 to the third.
Your 3's reduced.
No, your 3's don't reduce. One of your 2's reduces?
Hold up.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, 2 of them?
Nope, not 2 of them.
What? The 3's cancel out, don't they?
No. The 3's an exponent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so 3/2 times 2 to the third. There are 3 2's in the numerator, correct? There is 1 in the denominator, so how many reduce?
Wait, where's
1.
the second 2? Where's the third 2?
2 cubed is 3. Is equal to, yes?
What?
Okay, guys, 2 cubed. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that's where you're losing me.
I just understood.
Because before you wrote it as the fraction thing, you're losing me. Like, because you were changing the 3 to
The
a 2.
fraction thing is not the answer.
I
That's
know
her
it's.
just showing.
I know it's not, but she was turning the 3 into a 2, and it was losing me.
Yeah, because look, how many are left?
Okay, 2.
2.
Okay, now
2 to
that
the
makes
third power
sense.
isn't 6. Dang it.
Okay. Oh, it's been a day, right? So 2 squared is what?
2 squared.
4 times 3 is
Well,
12. 8 to the 4th. See if we can do this better. 3/2 times 2 to the 4th. How many 2's reduce?
1.
1.
So that changed to a 3.
Okay, so 2 cubed is
8.
8 times 3 is
24.
24.
You're just multiplying everything by 2.
Yep. And that's because the common ratio is what? 2. Okay, so 3/2,
Times 2 to the 5th.
2 to the 5th is 2 to the 4th, which is 16, yes?
Yeah, 16.
And 16 times 3 is 48.
Guys, 48.
Okay, stop.
Thank you, Kale.
Okay, questions?
No.
Okay.
Can you explain the...
How'd you get 3,000?
Okay, so write the definition and find the 12th term. So Elena just said, well, you're just multiplying it by 2. That's fine, yes, but I don't want to multiply it by 2 12 times to get to the 12th term. Do you?
Yes.
No. Okay, so we need to get the 12th term when we're done. And this is what they start me with. So does anybody remember the definition right now? A sub n equals?
Equals
A sub
the
1
sub one
plus
R
R or times R.
Okay,
The
okay.
exponent n minus 1.
Yes, you're all right.
I got none of that.
Okay, a sub 1 times r to the power of n minus 1. So we need a sub 1 and we need r in order to write this definition, yes?
Ratio's 3.
The ratio is 3. How did you get 3?
Because 5 times 3 is 15. 15 times 3 is 45.
Okay, or you could just divide by the previous term and get 3. Either one.
That's That's what came to me first.
Okay, that's fine. I said either one.
Same process.
Yep, it is. Okay, so R is 3. What is A sub 1?
5
5. So A sub n
equals 5
times
times 3.
3 to the n minus 1.
So then it will be 5 over 3,
It will be 5 over 3,
and then
3 to the n. So there's my definition. Now it wants to what power? 12. So I have A sub 12 is 5 over 3 times 3 to the 12th. So 1 3 reduces.
so now it becomes 3 to the 11th.
And I don't want to do 3 to the 11th, do you?
You don't wanna find that it's 177,147.
You did that?
Yeah, on the head.
What is it, Kale?
Set
Just say.
177,147
changed.
times 5, still.
Oh, well, times it times 5.
85735.
Yep.
Gotta go back. Say it again.
885,735.
Okay. So on the test, when you don't have a calculator, you're going to leave your answer like what? That.
You're actually gonna have to find 3 to the 11th.
2 to the 11th wouldn't be too bad, but
Well,
3 to
no,
the 11th would
3
be.
is.
I still use calculators in every test. If I spent that much money,
Okay, but you know how long your test would take you because you guys would be doing 2 times 3.
Okay, but you know
yeah,
how much
we'd be right. We'd be more accurate.
Okay,
No,
write the definition.
I wasn't ready.
Oh.
Can't. You should.
Me neither.
What is this? 6 -2?
I did realize I can get one screen back, but I can't get 2. So there you go. Finish. Tell me when you're done.
Wait, you got the words away.
Huh?
They've been
You
away.
got the words.
The words what?
The words away on the
Those are
bottom.
numbers, dude.
Oh, I did that a long time ago.
Oh,
Guys, he's gone. He was like dead for a week.
she bought the thing.
I was dead for like 3 weeks.
How many
Week and a
more
half.
slides do we have?
Well, we have to do. Well, we've got like 4, so I need to know when people are done.
I'm good. I guess you're not going to be able to get to the things you need to get to.
I guess not.
I'm good.
Okay. So, write the definition. Find the 10th term. Anything different?
No.
No. So, what's R?
Can't we do this ourselves?
I don't
Sure.
know.
Do it yourself.
Callie. Dude, come on. We got
Yep.
You have the example.
Do it yourself. I will start in like a minute.
I don't want to.
I didn't realize there's a 2/3.
It's not hard.
Keep saying
Yeah, and I don't like how they wrote the 2/3, but that's how the book does it. So,
That's how I do it.
not me. All right, 2 over 3.
Taylor, you just do it first.
Oh no.
I am so sick.
Yeah, we know.
Well, there's some things I'm like, dude.
Real quick, Miss Meg.
Uh-huh.
How did you get the ratio?
I put the second one divided by the first. And then the third divided by the next to check it. So negative 2 over 6 is negative 1/3.
I thought it was just regular 1/3.
No. Well, you have a negative.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2/3 times negative 1/2 and gives me negative 1/3 to make
Wouldn't it be 2 over 1? No, reciprocal.
the reciprocal.
So it reciprocate, the 1/3 reciprocates, so it would be 6 times 3, right?
Yes.
So it would be 9.
No, 6 times 3 is 8, negative 18.
Oh, yeah. Negative 18 to the n.
Mm-hmm.
and
Well,
that's
like-
it.
Right here. That's your definition.
That is weird.
What's weird about it?
How it just changed from what it was before.
Yes, Selena.
How did you go from a sub n equals 6, negative 1/3, and minus 1 to 6, negative 3 times?
Okay, so this negative 1 is going to reciprocate this, right? Because when we had 2n to negative 1, that was 2n, and then we had 1 over 2. Yep. So it just reciprocates that, so it's negative 3.
How did you reciprocate it to 8 instead of 10?
Because this would be 1 over, it'd be positive because a negative times itself 10 times would turn out to be positive, yes? Okay. And so I have 1 over 3 to the 10th. Well, isn't there a 9 and 18?
Yeah.
Isn't that 2 3s?
Okay.
So I took 2 away from here, and then 9 times 2 is 18.
Is that really necessary?
Well, yeah.
Like you have to do that?
Well, yeah.
Like I got the other ones.
That's, I mean, it's just one of those things you'll get used to start looking for.
18.
When you reciprocate it to do it the same, like, is it always going to be the denominator and fraction?
What is it?
Tori, can you say this?
Say that again?
When, like, based off the question I asked earlier, when you reciprocate it, is it always going to be the denominator?
Well,
Bad number.
this was in the denominator in the first place, so it goes to the numerator. This was in the numerator, so it goes in the denominator. So it's always going to, if it's a whole number, you're going to have a fraction. If it's a fraction for your ratio, it's going to become a whole number.
Okay.
The title?
Okay. Other questions?
They're called Venn diagrams.
Okay, what if I don't start with a sub 1? What do I have to do?
Move it around.
I have to move it around. Okay. So the second term, this is our last slide. The second term, a sub n. Shoot. So a sub n equals negative 18, right? And a sub 5 equals 2/3.
A sub n equals 18.
But it,
No, a sub 2. I said 2, and then I just erased it. So we'll just start over. So a sub 2 equals negative 18. I was thinking ahead. A sub 5 equals 2/3.
So are we going to do this the same way that we did the last one?
Yep.
Okay, so it would be
So we're looking.
the 18. And then
So we're going to make a sub 1 negative 18.
A sub 5 to A sub 4.
A sub 5 to a sub 4. Just moving back 1. Just like when we did the arithmetic. Whatever we move the first one back, you got to move the second one back. Yes?
So then A sub n would be, instead of it being A sub n, it would be 2/3.
Do you guys need help?
I'm just trying to comprehend what I say.
No. I was asking Brad and Natalie if they needed help.
Trying to figure out how you went from, I think I read the 18 on the last problem.
There's 3 to the 10th. There's 3. There's 2 3s in 18, correct? Because it's 9 times 2.
yeah.
And so I took 2 3s out of the numerator. So made it 2. and 2 3s out of the denominator, so it made it 8. So negative 2 over 3 to the 8th. If I okay, watch. 2 times 3 times 3 is negative 18, yes?
Yeah.
Over 3 to the 10th.
So. Yeah. I hope you break out now. Feel like. Like my green socks. She was going off on my hands at school, but my feet are actually at school.
Natalie, what's wrong?
How do you get? I don't get it.
You don't get what?
How do you get? Where does the one go? Why are you combining them? I'm so confused. What?
Oh, because it was.
Well, what's 1 times 18?
Well, 18.
18.
I didn't know that you did that.
Well, yeah, because it's multiplication of numerator.
I forgot about that step.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
This is Nick.
Okay, yes.
I don't know if I'm on the right track enough, but I did the whole, like, the 3 halves.
Hopefully you guys were working on writing your equation while I was helping them.
Like,
Yeah,
like the 3 halves equals
I don't know
negative
what you're talking
18
Mine's,
times
everything's written
like-
down the other thing.
plus,
That she's up
I don't know how to do the rest.
like, then 4 minus 1 d, and then find the d, and then
Yes.
do the other thing, and then find the n. And
So we're gonna be
plug it back
finding
in.
we're gonna be finding the r and plugging it back in and finding a sub 1. Yes.
Yeah, what's R?
Oh, I was.
R is the
We're
ratio.
trying to find
I was
the
finding
ratio.
the d, and
what
then
is-
finding
We're
the.
trying to
I was gonna
find
find the
ratio.
n, and then plug it in.
Okay.
Just like the same way that we did the other one.
With it, so r, we're looking for r, and our n is
And
4 minus 1.
So 3.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's not.
So I'm going to divide by negative 18 or multiply by 1 over what? 1 over negative 18. So here I get 9 times 3 is negative 1/27 equals r to the,
R to the
so how do I get to the rid of the third? Take the
cube root.
cube root or take it to the 1/3 power, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So over here I just get r.
Mhm.
And the cube root of negative 1, which would be negative 1, yes? And the cube root of 27 is,
9.
how about 3?
3, yeah.
Okay, so what is r?
R is negative 1.
R is negative 1/3. Now you have to pick one of the original points now to plug back in and find a sub 1. Which one would you like to use?
80.
18.
18?
The fifth.
Real quick, where'd you get the 1/3 exponent? On negative 1 over 27.
Because we had, over here, we had r to the third, and we had to get that down to the first.
Oh, okay.
So we took the cube root of both sides.
Wouldn't a sub 5 be easier to do since it's already a fraction?
That's up to you guys. Which one you guys want to do? A sub 2 or a sub 5?
A sub 5.
5? Okay, so a sub 5 is what we're using. So a sub n is 2/3 equals a sub 1 is what we're looking for. R is negative 1/3 to the n. What's n?
3,
Well, n is 5
5. That's what I said. You just misheard me.
minus 1. So you have 2/3 equals a sub 1 times 1/3 to the 4th. Well, 1/3 to the 4th is going to be a positive number, yes? And so I'm just going to make it 1 over 3 to the 4th. We all good with that? And that's multiplication, so I now multiply by the reciprocal. So a sub 1 is going to equal 2/3 times 3 to the 4th. Now let's see if we can do this without mass confusion again.
Wait, what?
Isaiah's already lost me. It was 70.
No, I was trying to figure out what you said before that.
I reciprocated the 1 over 3 to the 4th,
Okay, so it'll just be 3 over 4.
right?
3 to the 4th.
3 to the 4th. So 1, 3 reduced, and we already know 3 cubed is
27.
27. So I need 2 times 27,
54.
which is 54.
54 is A1. A sub 1.
Yep. And so if I was going to write a definition now,
It's going to be.
the definition would be A sub n equals 54 times negative 1/3 to the n minus 1. Okay, that minus 1 gives me 1 of the negative 1/3 reciprocated, yes?
Mhm.
So A sub n equals 54 times negative 3 times negative 1/3 to the n. And I think you can all multiply by negative 3. 4, 15, 162. That's what I get. I could be wrong. 4, 15, 16. Yep. So, we had to find what first? R first. Then we had to find A sub 1 second. And then we wrote our definition.
We still have the sixth term.
Like, we still have to
Oh, we still have to find 6 terms, so all we have to do is plug in what?
6.
6. Can I erase some of my work?
Yeah.
No.
As long as it's not part of the last step.
Okay, so I'm going to do this really slow, and if you've been confused about them before, watch. Just watch. Don't try to write and copy and all that. Okay, so A sub 6, yes? Okay, equals negative 162, which we already, never mind. Negative 1/3 to the 6th. I'm putting the 6 on the bottom, and that negative is going to become a positive because negative times a negative 6 times is going to be a what? Positive. So I need to reduce this. I already know that 162 is 3 times 54. Yes? I already know that 54 was 2 times 27. Yes? Okay, so that gives me 1 3 and 3 3s. So how many 3s are there? 4 times negative 2. So how many 3s can I reduce? 4.
So 2.
So 2. So A sub 6 equals negative 2 over 9. Now, once I found R, guys, which was negative 1/3, couldn't I have just taken A sub 5 and multiplied it by negative 1/3?
Yeah. But you wouldn't let us.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't also ask you for 6. And I wouldn't have given you A sub 2. Because once you find A sub 2, all you have to do is multiply by
Find A.
negative 3 to get A sub 1. I took you through the whole process because am I going to give you things like 2 and want 6?
You should.
No.
It was like 17 and 149.
Exactly. Okay, that was it. That's it for today. That's only it.
Okay, I'm gonna go up.